All right, let's grab our pencils. Today we're going to sketch out the complete financial picture of one of the world's most valuable companies, Apple. Ever wonder where that mountain of cash actually comes from? Well, we're going to find out.
So, let's start with the big one. In the fiscal year 2025, Apple pulled in a mind-boggling $416 billion. I mean, that's a number that's almost hard to wrap your head around, right? But the real question is, how do you even get there? What are the lines and shapes that make up this financial masterpiece? Okay, so here's our game plan for sketching this all out. We'll start with the big picture, then zoom in on the iPhone engine, the rest of the hardware universe, and the services powerhouse. And then we'll put it all together to see the final masterpiece.
All right, let's start sketching. First up is the iPhone engine. And really, this is the heart of Apple's entire fortune.
So this is the boldest, thickest line in our entire drawing. Get this. The iPhone, all by itself, brought in $209 billion. That's insane. We're talking about just one product making up more than half of Apple's total money for the year. It really is the engine that drives everything else.
So you might be wondering, how does that engine just keep going year after year? Well, it's not just about finding new customers. As you can see here, Apple has absolutely mastered what's called the super cycle. They've figured out how to get millions of us, the people who already have iPhones, to upgrade in these huge, powerful waves. It's a pretty brilliant and kind of self-sustaining model if you think about it.
Okay, so with the iPhone sketched in, let's add the rest of the hardware universe. Because, as we all know, Apple is way more than just a phone company.
So here are the other key parts of our hardware sketch. And what's really striking here is the wearables, home, and accessories category. We're talking about your Apple Watch, your AirPods. That whole group now brings in more money than the entire Mac lineup. That's wild. All told, these other products add almost another $100 billion to our drawing.
But hold on, the part of this picture that's growing the fastest, well, it's not something you can hold in your hand at all. It's the services powerhouse. Think of it like the intricate shading that gives the whole drawing its depth and richness.
So what are we even talking about when we say services? Well, this is all the stuff you subscribe to or use every day. It's the App Store, it's your iCloud Plus storage, it's Apple Music, Apple Pay, even Apple TV Plus. It's a whole lot. And get ready for this number. In 2025, services brought in a jaw-dropping $109 billion. Now that's a huge number on its own, for sure. But what's even more important is that this is the fastest growing part of Apple's entire business. It's adding a whole new dimension to our financial portrait.
And here's the real kicker. This is absolutely crucial. What used to be kind of a side hustle for Apple has just exploded. This hidden engine of services is now the clear, undisputed number 2 moneymaker for the company. In fact, it's now bigger than the Mac, the iPad, and all the wearables combined. Let that sink in for a second.
Okay, so we've sketched in all the different pieces, the hardware, the services. Now it's time to step back and take a look at the final masterpiece. And there it is. This chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? You can see the absolute dominance of the iPhone, taking up half the canvas. But then, look at that next biggest slice. That's services, at a whopping 26%. This really shows how Apple's whole strategy has changed. They're not just a hardware company anymore. They are a hardware plus services giant.
So, the big takeaway from our whole sketch is this really clear strategic shift. Apple's game isn't just about selling you a shiny box one time anymore. It's about selling you ongoing subscriptions. And that leaves us with a really fascinating final question to think about. As that services revenue just keeps on climbing, where's Apple's future really being drawn? Is it in the physical hardware it creates? Or is it in the digital subscriptions that bring that hardware to life?